We didn't have it this year in real life. I'll tell you what, let's have it in virtual reality. Hey guys, welcome back to the WWRL Championship for the Formula 1 2020 game. We're here in China for the Shanghai Grand Prix. Alongside me, as always, is my lovely Dutch friend and co-commentator, the man with the facts. It's Matt. Matt, welcome.
Again, happy to be back. Shanghai is a track that you either love or hate. And the reason being, it's a very safe track and your feet will stay warm because no socks are going to be blown off here. It was designed by the German track designer Hermann Tilke, and in some fans' eyes in the F1 community, he is public enemy number one. It was his third purpose-built track after Malaysia in 1999 and Bahrain, which also opened in the 2004 season but came just before China. Both those tracks obviously have been huge successes and are fan favourites, and they incorporate what I'm going to term a Tilke checklist. These are samey tracks. He sees success and he basically copy and pastes them between the tracks. So I've brought a checklist and we'll go through them as it goes on, but just a little bit of information. So Tilke was brought on board to solve an overtaking problem in Formula 1. Obviously, we have Grand Prix like Monaco every year where the tracks are extremely thin, in fact, about 13 metres wide. Well, tracks like Malaysia, Bahrain, China are about 20 metres wide at their widest, so it is easy to overtake, and you will see overtaking here. It is a track where I do think we get quite a lot of wheel-to-wheel racing. I mean, Alex Albon, from the pit lane to points in 2019 was probably his best drive in Formula 1. So let's go through it. So do you like long straights, Ben?
Yes and no. I think if you're in the overtaking position, if you want to be in the overtaking position, then go for it. If you're being absolutely hunted, I think I'm just face it, it's not the best place to be.
Well, I can tell you, China has long straights, but even longer than anything else. Do you like a snaily turn 1 and 2 where you can fight wheel to wheel?
Again, very entertaining.
Well, this track has a snaily turn 1 and 2, but it's even snailier than Malaysia.
Steady. Is that a word?
I hope so.
We'll look in the dictionary later.
As I've mentioned, if you think width is important, the track's 20 metres. Do you like quick S's or clinically precise turns that are challenging?
Yes, especially like places like Baku and America.
Exactly. Well, this has a quick switch back enter in Sector 2, which isn't quite flat out, and it gives the drivers a bit of a challenge. Do you like fancy pit buildings?
I think they're slightly unnecessary with Mesa.
Well,
but
China brought a Goliath.
Look at that. It actually goes across the track. I mean, it's a view.
It is absolutely massive. Now, the first race here in 2004, so we all know 2004, dominated Ferrari season, one of the most famous cars ever, F2004. The race was won by a Ferrari.
Oh, really? Interesting.
But it wasn't Michael Schumacher.
No, it wasn't.
It was Big Rubens Barrichello popping in the win. And he's just an all-round great guy. If anyone is interested, he is still racing to this day in Brazilian stock cars.
Did you know with Rubens Barrichello, he's the only person back when the old Top Gear, he was the only Formula 1 driver to ever beat the stick. The only driver.
I did not know
The only driver. And what he did going throughout the whole paddock was he actually bought himself a nice T-shirt with the stick on it saying that I beat the stick. And you know what he did to every other single driver in the pit? He decided to put I did not beat the stick. And there's a literally nice little picture of Jenson Button with one of those T-shirts with a quite very hurtful look on his face.
Yeah. I like it. He's an all-round. He was an all-round. One of the nicer drivers. He still is. Again, another interesting fact about this is it's got quite a dodgy pit lane, and actually, one of the most famous moments in the last 20 years came when there used to be a gravel trap in the pit lane, and McLaren kept Lewis Hamilton in 2007 on the wrong tyres when it was tipping it down with rain. and he unfortunately skids into the gravel trap at the time, beaches it, can't get out, and that actually lost him the World Championship in 2007. And it is still possible to overshoot this, even though there's no gravel trap. If you're missing your braking point, if you lock up, there's a nice big wall on the side now instead of a gravel trap for you to smash into. So, I'm going to go through with tempo here, a track guide. So let's have a look. Snaily Turn 1 and 2 is on the checklist. Can we get it? Oh, yes, we can. You can see, as you crest, you turn in, and then you kind of want to hug this. He took a bit more of a central line there, but that's okay. You come out to the side, and you've got this little kink in the road, which we've seen also in Bahrain. You've got a heavy braking zone here, which is a hairpin now leading into sector 2, where we can check off, let's have a look, fast S's or clinically precise turns.
Tick.
Tick. Also, he loves the double left-hander or tilker. We've got one at Turkey as well.
Really? Oh, look at this.
Boom.
Tick.
And we've got a double right-hander in Malaysia.
Oh! Well saved, mate.
And this is a corner which he took inspiration for Turkey's turn 8. This is a long multi-apex corner which leads on to a straight. So you can see there, it's not quite as many apexes. Not quite as many apexes as Turkey's turn 8, as I think Tempo's going to pull out of this one.
He's still going full throttle.
He's still going, fair enough. And again, heavy braking zone. What's interesting about this turn is it tightens up just here on exit. So you always feel like you can carry a bit more speed into it than you can. We've seen Max Verstappen overdo it there throughout the years. It's easy done. He still sets the fastest lap.
Still does. Tempo Tesla.
Tough,
who is third place in the standings as it is, with Basabi, who in second is, well, where else would he be? He's second on the grid at the moment. And Eugene comes along and smacks it.
That was
a 129.568. Very good time.
I did forget to just make sure we double check this track's got a modern facility. Oh, there it is. Look at
there it is. Look at that.
I mean, it is cool architecture. It's needless, but it's cool.
I mean, I was just China all over it. If someone makes something big, I was like, and then China will be like, hey, I got a bigger one.
But you see it. For some reason, the Chinese person in that story was from Texas.
Yes, I will apologise for the accent.
But I'm glad you didn't. Yeah. We'll leave this part of the conversation.
No, we won't. We will.
Now, I mean, for example, if you look at Abu Dhabi, I mean, look at that big hotel from Sector 3. It's nice, and actually 4,000, the equivalent of $4,000 a night while the race is on for a moderate room there. So, you know, I do my research. We've got Boris warming up, I think.
I think he's actually. Oh no, he must have ruined
made a mistake, maybe.
Because he was literally on his actual lap there. He's actually coming into pit.
Okay.
Who's on
that?
You got Tim for the racing point at the moment.
Might as well race with him. He's the only gentleman out, or Desi's out.
Oh no, you've also got Critical, who by the looks of things, he's pitting as well. Who else? You've got a lot of people.
I just see some mediums on Tim.
What's this?
Tim 1404.
Yes, yeah. He's on the mediums.
Well, this is interesting.
Is he expecting to do a really good lap here and then try and get himself up into the top spots?
If he can get himself into the top 10 on the mediums, then this guy's got some serious pace. I've just noticed Sharky isn't in today.
Sharky is not on. Yeah, that's I believe Tim 1404 has taken his place. We would like to know what's probably happened with Sharky. That's a bit alarming. Sharky, I hope everything's okay, mate.
A couple of race wins this year. He's been one of the more entertaining people to watch, and he's a nice guy. So hope he does look to continue. There aren't too many races left now. I think after this there's only 2, which is Monaco and Bahrain, was it?
No, I believe it is Singapore. So race under the lights, as it were.
Singapore, lovely.
Apparently we have Sharky apparently definitely cannot race today. Unfortunately, the reasons we are at the moment still unknown. Okay. But I'm hoping we'll probably be able to get something.
Hopefully it's nothing serious.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay.
He's back for next week. So we've got Tim now winding through the turn 1 and 2, and he actually grabs a bit of oversteer as I think he's hugged the inside a bit too long there. But look, these tyres won't have as much grip as fresh softs. There's a reason softs are the quali tyre. Now we're back into Sector 2. Again, these are the S's or the precise turns. First one is almost flat out with quali tyres. On the mediums, there would have been a bit of a lift there. This is quite an understeery corner here, as often you might find yourself going out onto the green AstroTurf. You don't want to be there. It's less grip. You're going to lose time. You now carry yourself into a heavy braking zone, and then you really want to be careful winding the power up along here. There are multiple different lines. You see a lot of the drivers seem to favour getting close to the first curving on the right-hand side and shooting yourself off, and again, just trying to avoid the green AstroTurf. This is a DRS straight. It's actually exactly a kilometre long, which is exactly what F1 needs for there to be overtaking, considering the amount of time you're going to lose to the dirty air through the long corner. This is also a very understeery kind of corner, as you can get too far onto the AstroTurf there. And Tim 1404, obviously, with the mediums, I'm not really sure what they're thinking. Maybe he's trying to just save a pair of softs for the race, maybe looking to do a two-stop, and he just wanted to get a banker time in.
It could be, as he's obviously pulled a 131.759.
So
Eugene
is on an
I
out
tell you
lap.
what, should we ride on with the chap who is in second place in the championship? We'll go with Basabi. He's on a time lapse. Oh,
And he's just got a big kick of oversteer.
very big kick right there, but I think he's still going full throttle. Yes, he is.
That's easily done through there, and actually, big
Massive lock up there.
And for drivers like their cars to be a little bit more oversteering than understeering. If you're understeering, you've got to overslow the car down to try and get yourself turned in. Oversteer comes on exit, and if you correct it right, you can minimise damage. Usually it's a slight lift and a counter steer, but you can, in essence, overcorrect it where you counter steer too much. Maybe you don't come off the throttle enough and you get a big tank slapper. As we see a bit more oversteer. That was actually just caused from a break of traction from the loaded tyre on the left-hand side there, just running across the curbing. So this hasn't been the cleanest lap, and I think because the line he's taken there,
I think he is putting out this one.
I think he'll go to the end, but yeah, I'm not
convinced.
It's a very twitchy. Yeah, he's
coming in. That is very bad. Anyway, we're going to go on with
Anarchy.
Anarchy is back. At the moment, his fastest time is at 1:30.065. I mean, very close to Sabe at the moment. But at the moment, he is in fifth. What can he do? Can he put his name on the second row of this Grand Prix?
Well, we haven't seen too much of this lap, but what I will say is I'm going to miss this. That's going
to be disallowed, yeah.
I am going to miss seeing the yellow Renault next season. As excited I am to see the sky blue Alpine, and I think it's worth mentioning we do wish our best to Fernando Alonso, who broke his jaw training this week, and he apparently is going to be okay, but he's a favourite of mine. I know he divides opinions, so while we're just on the topic, worth just saying it's get well soon.
Yeah, get well soon, Fernando, and don't worry. I'm pretty sure that if you don't make it, I'll take the place. Don't worry. It's in safe hands.
I'm bogging for some Fernando vibes.
Oh, don't we all?
Getting angry at the engine. I mean, it's a Renault engine. They've not been the most reliable in the turbo hybrid era. That's obviously been the Mercedes engine. Renault power used to be the way to go. I mean, look at the Red Bull car 2010 to 13. But I think, you know, the expense of the turbo hybrid engine itself, and it always seems to me Renault are in and out of the sport. I mean, they were in, then they became Benetton, then they became Renault, then they became Lotus, then they become Renault, now they're Alpine. It must be difficult for the workers there to know what's coming next. What colours are they going to be wearing next season? Purple. We ain't had a purple team for a while. You know?
I remember the last time we had a purple team.
Jordan, when they first... No. What? in 1994 in Imola, when Ronald Ratzenberger died, he had that purple car with the MTV logo. But I can't remember. Was that Jordan? That might have been Jordan before they went yellow because they got the MasterCard sponsorship.
Maybe.
So I think mid-90s. I can't think of one from like 99 onwards. I think everyone kind of had their colour. That's a big snap of oversteer, and that's exactly what I was saying about an overcorrection there. The rear flipped out on him. He got a tank slapper on. He's no damage, but the lap is ruined.
Foiled that lap, I believe. Unless, I mean, to be honest,
there's no chance of him finding that
you
back.
Thing is, you've got to then go back into the pit, put a new tail on, and then get back out again.
That's it.
It ain't going to happen.
I mean, at the moment, though, it's worth saying Eugene is miles ahead of him.
He is very comfortable at the moment.
And we're seeing Eugene throughout the season actually qualify very well, but I think it's always been his race pace that's let him down.
Mr. Saturday.
Look, it's two different driving styles at the end of the game, at the end of the day, isn't it? Qualifying, it's just one lap to put together, nail your apex, carry your speed through. But in a race, and I think this is a 28 lap race, so half distance around Shanghai, 28 laps, it's not easy to, it's easy to make mistakes. It's easy to be playing with your ERS or your fuel mix and then miss a braking point. So it is a different style of driving, and you feel it on the game. I often feel at the start of races, you can feel the car's heaviness when you just come out of qualifying. Do you get that?
Yes, definitely. I mean, the thing is, you're just like, you want to go that extra bit further, but unfortunately you just can't.
Yeah.
Anyway, coming up to, we've got Kasabi on at the moment, currently 8th on the scale, 2nd in the championship. He is looking to probably put his name back right up there on the board. We'll see what he can do.
He's been near tempo all season, so if this is a good lap, there's no reason why he can't get back.
Oh, wow!
Hello!
That is 0.02 of a second. That is literally, there's no room for error there. That is incredible.
That's barely quantifiable.
That is...
You can barely measure that. That's not even a blink. That's quicker than a blink. That's the difference at the moment. And look, we did have a bit of prior knowledge to Basabi. He's a great guy, and he did message you saying that he's pulling a low 129. So if that's in time trial, he's got perfect tyre conditions. But this isn't far off. That's a cracking.
That is amazing. Anyway, who can literally...
Is Borish going on an outlap anytime soon? I'd be interested to see.
Borish...
A championship leader down in 19th at the moment.
I don't think he is. I mean, he's got 2 minutes. He needs to come out as quick as possible. If he is to have a chance.
It's about a 1.5 minute warm-up lap.
It is. So, I'm seeing activity. I'm seeing activity coming from the McLaren. Okay. Both of the McLarens are coming out.
Thank God.
So, the thing is, you've got to run it ragged. I mean, he's got 144.
We've got to find a 2.5. It is doable. We don't know what happened on this first lap. We could have made a mistake. But at the moment, I'm not going to suggest the pressure's not getting to him, but it's not looking good for our old friend Borish here.
I don't think he's going to make it. I mean,
I don't think he is.
No, he's not.
Because look, you've got 1:29 for a push lap. This isn't even a push lap. This is a warm-up lap. I think there's been a miscalculation here, and we're going to have to see a real champion drive from Borish, because he has absolutely no chance of making this unless there's a glitch. I don't know, but I mean, according to our timing, he's got a minute left to make it. I mean, the back straight alone is nearly 30 seconds. So shall we just ride on board with Eugene if we can, because I don't think Borish is going to make it.
See, where is Eugene? He is on that. He's just kind of. He's only just come out of the double left, so he will make the next. Do you think? He will.
Well, this back straight alone is nearly 30 seconds. Is it? I don't know. At least 20.
I'd say when you're on this part right here, this is where you're about 1:10. So he's probably got about 5 seconds. And the thing is, he's being a bit lackadaisical at the moment.
Got some notifications coming through.
There might be a glitch with the timetable. Right. we may actually see some
changes.
Some changes
We'll
at the
just have
moment.
to update you with that. But I did think there's no way a driver at the level of Borish has left it this late. So we'll see. We'll see with laps coming in. It is now saying qualifying is over, but it looks like Eugene's actually wound up for a fast lap.
Yep,
and the flag marker hasn't come up. So, but that was a glitch, which means Borish still has a chance of improving. But we'll stick with Eugene. He's looking to get to provisional pole, and Basabi is in the pit, so he's happy with that lap. He's saying, this is the best I can do, have at it.
Well, we'll ride upon Eugene. Remember, we'll also keep an eye on Marty Beaver. Look at them in the fourth.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, I think the two Haas guys, Ramboy and Desi, Marty FIFA and obviously Basabi, have been very consistent all season with regards to, they always seem to be there or thereabouts. I've very much enjoyed
Tempo Tesla.
We've got
129.511. Wow. Very quick lap right there by Tempo Tesla in third place in the championship. Ramboy has retired from the session.
That wasn't ideal to have that car. I think that was 10th in front of Eugene on his push lap as he comes in there, just trying to get a little bit of slipstream. Fair enough. There will be some time gained there as the car in front pushes the wind aside for the driver behind. It's like if you can imagine holding an umbrella. If you can imagine holding an umbrella up in the wind. Ideal now.
No.
Going to do it.
I think that would have to be.
Let's have a look at Borish.
We'll go on Borish. I believe he will be coming now. Wow, 129.458! That is incredible. He pulled that out of the bag now, didn't he?
Where's that one come from? What a lap.
That is generally incredible. Wow, what a time there by Borish. Look at that. Literally the top three in the championship are the top three of this race.
That is incredible turn of events.
Wow.
Now. I mean, a 129.4 in equal performance cars, well played. I'm absolutely in awe of that because he looked down and out for a bit there. He was in the high 130s. He's found over a second and a half to put himself on pole position. Tempo on the front row, Basabi on the second row. This is what we want. This is for it all.
It is definitely, as it stands, we could be seeing a world champion today. We really could. I think if Borish does win this race, then we will be seeing the Tier 1 world champion, and that would have been Borish of McLaren. But the thing is, he will need to win the race. If he wins this race, that's it. It's game over, done and dusted. I
think if he wins it, I do think he'll need Temple and Basabi to drop a little bit further back. It's difficult. You have to understand, anyone watching, Sky Sports have mathematicians working this out. We in this flat have us.
Yeah, two blokes on a laptop. That's basically what we've got.
We have GCSEs in maths, but school was a long time ago now, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, so we're just going to load the race up now, and it's just want to take this opportunity, guys, to say it's sim racing. It's anyone's game, but it seems this season like it's Borish's game, and we're all just borrowing it.
Definitely, Borish has been absolutely tremendous all season. I think there's only that one time where it actually went wrong for him. I can't remember what race it was. I believe.
I mean, if you're saying it went wrong for him,
I believe it was Canada, where it was the first time he actually came out of the top three.
It went wrong
but it was
for him.
Fourth.
It went wrong for him because he finished fourth.
That's how good. That's how good he is.
It's consistent.
It's consistency.
It's so consistent.
It's brilliant. I mean, so far he is apart from one race, he has been on pretty much on every single podium.
Wow. I mean, and if you look at the two tracks coming up, which are Monaco and Singapore, they're very much a driver's track. I reckon Borish will be firm favourites in those. You usually see the more natural people who are comfortable on these tight tracks perform better there. I am looking forward to the Monaco race next week. As we see the strategy here, I'm actually relatively happy to agree with that. You can make a soft to hard strategy work, but you will have to pit. This is quite a corrosive circuit with regards to tyre wear.
Should we see, actually, in the top 10, if anyone actually has been very brave to go on to the mediums? Just say Borish, Tempo, Basabi, Eugene, Critical, got Martin FIFA, Morris Pace, you've got Stocko Saints, Tim88, and Jesse Formulae. So all the whole of the top 10 are staying on the softs, which is pretty much what you expect.
Exactly. I'm not sure if I like the recommendation of a soft, medium strategy, although this is a track where the two-stop doesn't have too much of an effect, purely out of the fact is you can overtake on this circuit. And it's really this corner coming up is the reason why this track is so heavy on tyres. In fact, I'd be very surprised if a lot of drivers aren't running quite low pounds per square inch on their left-hand side just to cope with that long high-speed corner and the forces that are going through the loaded tyre.
But I think Borish needs to slow down a bit.
Yeah, I'm sure he's about to do that now. I don't know, actually. I don't know, he must be just quite happy.
Well, it's around about here.
The game takes over, you'll see him
there we go, where it actually takes control.
I can't imagine he's going to lose too much tyre there. But it's Borish, so, you know, I just assume that he's gonna absolutely kill this and be fantastic, because it's just what I'm used to seeing. It is dominance at the moment, but the two people behind him still have a say.
Definitely. We are, by the looks of things, just getting the last of the cars brimming up for this Chinese Grand Prix. We never thought we would say it for this year. It's Shanghai. It is China. It's lights out. Remember the pause. Away we go! No. Boris, followed by Tempo. By the looks of things, he gets a very good start, Boris. Basabi goes up to second. Contact between Basabi and Tempo.
Tempo's all out of shape.
I'm trying to see where it's coming from at the moment. Oh, I think Basabi has literally just taken it on the inside. These two are going side by side. Boris is actually leading the way.
Oh, wow. It's critical.
Has literally gone off. That is a yellow flag. No safety car, no virtual safety car either just yet. Boris at the moment still going off with one literally already the second. Tempo Tesla now leading Basabi by apparently 1 second.
Tempo's behind 1 second, but to Boris.
Yes, correction. Sorry.
The entire time that start was going, Boris, he got a lovely start with no wheel spin, and the two behind him were fighting. He's now already broken DRS, and look, that was a cracking battle, and the Red Bull of Critical, I think, saw that there were some places to be had because the Tempo and Basabi, he looked to have gotten the power a little bit too soon, and unfortunately got a tank slapper on into the wall there, and that's his race over. Early of the earliest of showers there.
Okay, at the end of this lap, you've got Boris, followed by Tempo Tesla, followed by Basabi, followed by Eugene, who's actually still staying with the top three at the moment, who's doing very, very well to stay with. Oh, he's going to have to be very, very careful now, because he's already got a warning now for extended track limits on that. And by the looks of things, a couple of others at the back have done the exact same thing.
That's like one of the... It's a very tricky corner because of what I mentioned in quali. It's so understeery. I often find going into a slightly lower gear to really get my nose turned in before a gear mid-corner to help with the traction on exit. But even then, the corner is very, very understeer.
One of the things we're conscious about at the moment is Perfect Nave. Very new to this league at the moment. also with Vero. These two going at it to Williams.
Looked like he was going to try and use his tyre advantage there, as the Williams in front of him, YT Vero, is actually on the hards. So it's around these corners here where you're going to start to see tyre differences in the compound. YT Vero's tyres are going to go longer, and
Oh, Vero!
But they have less grip, and that proves the point right there.
These two are the closest battle going at the moment, I believe. Because
we've got Toon and Marty FIFA on the main straight now. There's a bit
of battle between Marty FIFA and Turn at the moment, with Tim A behind him. Natalia Allen is overtaking Brenboy. What's going on over here as they turn in? Bit of a lock up there by Stocko Saints.
Oh, he's got a big slapper on there.
Yeah, Marty FIFA's going to be losing not one but 2 places. So is Torn by the looks of things.
Boorish popped in the fastest lap of 1:34.6, which is very healthy pace. Bear in mind, the guys starting on the softs, you don't really get more than 5 good laps out of the soft tyres because of these long snaily corners. They all seem to really fall on the left-hand tyre. So as I mentioned, they will try and all counteract that with lowering the tyre pressures. The pounds per square inch you want to run on the left-hand side front minimum.
Torn at the moment is literally looking to gain a place on Marty FIFA. Marty FIFA's obviously got the tyre advantage at the moment, but obviously for how long, he's not great at the moment in terms of his lining. As Torn at the moment, he's
that was a lovely line for
very lovely line in there, but unfortunately he couldn't really proper send it because obviously Marty FIFA was obviously parking it on the inside. By the way, just so we know, we do have our first penalty for the race. It's Perfect Knave, who when I saw
there's been an accident.
There has been an accident. It's Anarchy. What has happened here?
He's got loose on exit there, I'm pretty sure. He might have had some contact now. But we'll check on that as Stocko Saints and Marty FIFA are battling wheel to wheel along the kilometre-long straight.
Marty FIFA at the moment is taking it. He's got the inside line, so he'll have priority. DRS, there you go. The lead is done with Marty FIFA. Sorry, as I was saying, the first penalty at the moment of the day was for Perfect Knave 708. He got a multiple warning, so I believe it was when he actually, I think in sector 3, it'll only be one place. Let's face it, it'll be from the last corner, going onto the pit straight. Remember, that is brutal. Basabi is literally.
He got too hungry there.
He saw
Tempo had a bit of oversteer on exit. I think it's worth just staying on board with this battle here, as Boris doesn't cracked on the way I thought he would here. He seems maybe
he's gaining slightly.
He's doing a sensible thing here. I don't think he's pushing as hard as he can because the soft tyres do wear out here, and I think he'll be trying to try and take it a bit longer than the game suggests. The Stocko Saints. There's a big accident.
Marty FIFA and Stocko Saints is out. Virtual safety car has been deployed.
They have come together for sure there. They both tumbled down the order, and I think they came together around the S's.
Stocko Saints, our British driver who got on the podium last week, is now out of the race.
Drive-through penalty for Perfect Knave.
Perfect Knave for speeding under the virtual safety car. His delta was obviously too much.
A bit of a, let's call it a baptism of fire for Perfect Knave so far. He's been caught out by the strict penalty for corner cutting. He's now, unfortunately, not been able to manage. It's either he's not been able to manage the delta, or he might have overtaken. As Morris Pace has gained a place over Eugene, but Eugene's pitted, so that's all well and dandy there. I guess a couple of people who are looking to do a 2-stop might look to pit now, but can you argue you could make the hards last that long? You probably could. You'd be regretting it come the end of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, just got confirmation. Marty FIFA and Stocko Saints did collide each other. But the thing is, obviously, we won't know on who was to blame. We obviously watching Tempo Tesla and Basabi with the battle for third. At the moment, still going quite strong at the moment. Half a second at the moment between the two.
Look, we're not going to have a claim as here as to who was at fault in that accident. We didn't see it. What I will say is it's not the kind of section. There's nowhere really to overtake in Sector 2. You might be able to gain better traction around the S's, but even so, the corners are so flowing that it's so difficult to make an overtake. There isn't a braking zone hard enough to launch one into the corner, so you've got to do it off pure traction and pace alone. So I'm assuming somewhere in there, maybe one of them's made a mistake, the other one's seen an opportunity, and it's unfortunately led to a collision. We will know next week if there are any penalties handed out. For now, we're going to focus on the battle. Boris, as mentioned, I think he's just saving a bit of life in those tyres. As Basabi's overtaken him, as Tempo comes into pits.
Yes, Morris' pace has moved up to third. This so far at the moment is obviously his best position. Tim 88 gone up to, as well as Torn, Desi, Brandon Boy, and I believe Temple will be coming out very soon. At the moment, he's got these three at the moment, Nutella Allen and Tun with Desi. These are very, very close.
They are very close, and it's not easy to see now that. It's easy to see now those starting on the hards. Starting on the softs, losing a bit of pace for those starting on the harder, medium, or indeed the white stripe hard compound tyres. As I mentioned at the start, because of the amount of long flowing corners here, your tyres take an absolute beating. So the soft tyres you don't get too much out of, and actually some part of me thinks it could be a benefit starting outside the top 10 as Desi cuts the corner there, and we see firsthand he's going to get a penalty for that.
Yep, he will be therefore getting 3-second time penalty as Anarchy is back, sets the fastest time with a set of mediums.
Did he pit in? Were they fresh mediums?
I could not tell you.
If we can find out who's pit.
Details. We'll just have a look with the tyres. Yes, they are fresh tyres.
Right. Okay. I did think that would be the case. The fresh tyre advantage around China, I think, is very strong. I actually think an undercut is quite likely here if you're struggling to get past someone. As Tim 88 makes a few places up, he is still yet to pit.
By looks of things, you've got 3 people pitting in. The top
Basabi's coming in now.
Top 3 by looks
I think he would have lost a little bit of time to Tempo there. It's you want your fresh tyre advantage around here. And yeah, he's lost quite a bit of time. In fact, he could have lost a place here to Eugene. He has. He's been undercut. Has he?
Ooh,
it's
very
close.
Very close. But has done it, and he gets that position under wraps. He is currently running 11th, followed with Boris just in front and Tempo.
Well, we're now seeing pit strategy play out, and you're seeing actually a bit of a mix of hard to kind of. I think Anarchy's back must be doing a 2-stop on 2 mediums. I can't imagine being able to take the medium 20 laps on this track. Very, very high tyre wear, as mentioned. So it looks like the 1-stop from soft to medium seems to be the way to go. If there is a safety car a little bit later on, you might see the top runners.
There was a yellow flag. Yellow flag. It is purple Nave. What has happened here? He has binned it, spun it in sector 2.
Yeah.
Just before that long left-hand turn.
I think that's just sometimes if you run your unloaded, so on this case is right-hand tyre too close to the hairpin itself, and it goes over the slight bump. It can break traction and throw you out. So it just said Boris just overtook Tempo, but I think that's just because he's just come out of the pit. But Tempo's right on his back actually. So it's Boris actually struggling behind. I think he's struggling
got
behind
the DRS. Pilot screen's coming up to turn 1. These going to have to probably wait a little bit longer, I believe, Boris, to try and gain a little bit more of an advantage over Tempo.
I'd say turn 1 is an overtaking opportunity, but it's a complicated one because depending on what line you take, if you took an inside line then you've got an advantage through the first corner, but a disadvantage for the second corner, and vice versa. Actually, your best look at an overtaking opportunity is at the back of the long straight. But you have seen some overtakes around the front, the first two corners through history. It is doable.
We had a bit of an update with the crash between. Do apologise. We seem to be having a bit of technical difficulties with the audio. Hang on, I believe we are back up and running. Sorry, as we were saying, Martin. I've just had a word a bit more on Martin FIFA and the Stocko Saints incident. Apparently, Marty FIFA crashed and didn't ghost, and Stocko Saints tried to avoid what was going on, but
lock up there from Boris and got collected by Tempo.
But couldn't, as his car just came back on the track and it glitched and took out the front left tyre off. That is what Stocko Saints says.
That's look. It's difficult when the game should do one thing and it doesn't. It's usually pretty snappy with the ghosting, but you know, he's been caught out there by a glitch in the game, so we have to feel sorry for him. There's nothing he can do. After a really good result last week, having himself on the podium for the first time this year, as we're seeing in the race right now, this is what happens around China. You get the strategy mix-up. So the people that started at the back are now at the front, but yet to pit. And Boris is really struggling behind Tim. And it's actually allowing Temple and Basabi to close the gap to him. You see this around China quite a lot, especially in sim racing. It's just a strategy mix. Oh, it's the...
I believe that is Tim 1404.
That is not... Oh, no, Boris has been collapsed!
Boris has gone! Boris has been collapsed!
He got hit by Tempo from behind.
Doesn't seem to be any damage. Does not seem to be any damage. But that means Tempo Tesla is now off and running with Basabi. That's not going to do Boris any favours.
We might see ramifications for that one because basically Tempo launched it at the inside of Tim 1404, who was struggling through sector 2. Boris is going to lose and could lose another place here to Morris Pace, as he seems to just he's got cooked tyres at the moment and he's just waiting for the temperatures to come down. Look, my point of view from that incident there was the virtual safety car for one of the Renaults. It is Temp. Temp has gone out. Unfortunately, I think for the front runners that hasn't come out at a good point. If that had come out probably 50 metres earlier or about half a minute earlier in the race, they could have pitted under that and gained heavily. Back onto the Boris Tempo incident. My point of view of that was Boris overtook the racing point when he went off track, and Tempo, I think, launched it up the inside of the racing point, outbraked himself, and unfortunately managed to hit one of the rear tyres of Boris. So this is going to be a big incident as Tim 1404 gets a penalty for multiple warnings. This is a huge incident because it's got championship ramifications, and Basabi's actually managed to get past Tempo as well.
We are, I believe, back underway from the safety car. Virtual safety car. We're trying to figure out. I believe Basabi at the moment. Oh my God! Basabi into Tempo. They've just hit each other going on that back straight. Yellow flag on turn 3.
And that's going to allow Boris back through. What is going on with his front three? I mean, I've seen battling, but
I don't know whether or not Tempo has got damage. Hold on, let's have a look. I think we could.
Oh, Boris is now having a nudge.
He hasn't. I'm trying to see what is going on. If there's any damage, it doesn't seem to be on Boris.
No damage.
None on Boris. I don't think there seems to be any on Tempo Tesla either. Them lot have come away unscathed.
Tempo's under trouble now from Morris Pace, and this is technically for a podium place.
Definitely. We can see what's going
Renault got that's a Lightning 66. Sorry, not a Renault. That's the Mercedes off, who's overshot it. This is exactly what I love to see around in sim racing around China. It's the mix of strategy. It's watching these front runners get frustrated and look at them stuck behind the cars, struggling. As you can see, Borish has now gone from being spun round from Tempo to have overtaken Tempo after he come together with another championship rival Basabi. And actually, Eugene's benefited greatly from this because if you look at it, he's technically in P1. In a net P1 because everyone ahead of him has got a pit.
I can't really. To be honest, at the moment there's so many chances for Borish to literally gain position over Basabi. Because remember, obviously everyone still needs to come in. Maybe Eugene still, but it just depends on how big that pace is for Borish. I mean, he's got a lot of strips here. He's got DRS as well, going up Basabi. Basabi's got the inside. Borish going to have to go around the outside. It's going to be very, very close. Going to see if we can go a different angle here. Lock up from both drivers. Going side by side. Basabi looks to
hung him out to dry there, and that's fair enough. He had the inside line, and he made sure there was no way of Borish holding that around the outside.
We will stay on board with these two because at the moment this is going to be the one to go for. Bremboy is literally just fitted into pitted into the pits. Yes, definitely. I'm definitely not. It's that Friday fever, isn't it? You gotta love it.
It's contagious.
It is contagious. We're going to stay on board with Basabi and Borish. Tempo's literally just behind, also gaining behind Borish because he's still got these two right up in front. A bit of a lock up there by Borish. Basabi seemed to probably not favour from that at all as Borish is straight on it. Perfect Nave got another 3-second time penalty. Another one.
What a baptism of fire
He's got at least 6. I think he's already served 1 because he obviously had a drive-through penalty. And
but did he serve as he served one at his pit? I don't think he's pitted yet. Which no, he hasn't because he's on 11 lap old median. So we will be able to serve just 1 under safety car. And now look what's happening. You've got Eugene, who's theoretically in P1, Basabi in P2, Borish P3 and Tempo, all within the same second, all DRSing on each other. This is going to get quite cosy into this corner.
This is going to be interesting, definitely. As Basabi, whoa, wow!
He's gone wide.
He's gone wide though. He's outbraked himself.
Christ, swings back onto the track right in front of Tempo. That could have been a front wing going by. What a move this could be from Tempo as he gets his traction down beautifully out of that corner around the outside.
Basabi's still fighting back. These two are going wheel to wheel, going to the front.
This is exactly like the opening of the race here. And this corner is now going to slightly bring into Basabi's favour.
Lock up there, and Tempo, I believe, will take that position. So Basabi not only loses not 1 but 2 places, trying to see if he can get that job done against Eugene, but it's come off terribly.
What a race this has been so far. It's for a track like China. I mean, we can only dream of this in real life, and this is why you've got to love sim racing. Every track is a possibility for good fun, and now we're seeing the battle for the net P1, which is Borish and Eugene, as we start to go onto this back straight here. So if we could just get on board with one of them.
Yes, we'll stay on with Borish. He's the one that needs to do the overtaking. 7 tenths just behind Eugene.
It is doable.
There is a yellow flag. Sector 1.
Anyone falling down the order?
I can't see anyone. I think it could be.
It could have been Perfect Nave who's just come out of the pits. I don't know.
Possibly, you never know. But I believe he's
heavy on the brakes through that corner again. There, it almost feels like if he got past Eugene, I feel like now he'd probably drive off. He seems to have a lot of pace. You can see he's a lot later in the braking zone than Eugene, but that's leading to him locking up. And that means his tyre life is going to take a kick in. On this track, that's not ideal. So this isn't over by a long shot, guys, as now we see, as I was saying, Eugene now up into P1, Borish P2, Tempo P3, but Morris Pace has been opportunistic. I know his second race, he's picked off Basabi for P4.
Yes, as it stands, obviously Eugene in first, followed by Borish, followed by Tempo Tesla. A very, very unlikely situation again with Morris Pace. Absolutely incredible from the British driver against I believe, the German, and I believe Eugene, I think, is the French driver, I believe.
Okay, bonsoir.
So, we could see a battle on who's probably the best in Europe at this point. But still, let's face it, it's still Boris. He's been absolutely incredible throughout the season. So, he is literally just under half a second now. He could do the move now on Eugene. He's got a bit of ERS, so he'll be using that to help him as well as the DRS. So we'll see what he can pull.
Drag reduction system means that now they're in 8th gear, Boris is going to get about 20 kilometres an hour more speed. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, but he takes a very aggressive line through that area. I'm not sure if that would have been a warning there. That's just about on the limits. But look, I think you could put the Jaws music behind this onboard of Boris. He is hunting Eugene down.
Should we do it together?
Imagine if he actually overtook.
Oh, that would be hilarious. But a bit of a lock-up there by Eugene going into that second turn. Boris is still hunting him down. Tempo Tesla literally just over half a second as well. Morris Pace a little out of DRS range. You got Basabi as well hunting down Morris Pace as well.
Basabi will be looking to get this move done as soon as possible to get back onto the gearbox of Tempo. But I have to say, fair play to Morris Pace. This race, and I feel very much like the last race, which was his first race, he's just gone about it by keeping his nose clean, which is one of my favourite things to say here, because it does lead to results if you stay out of trouble. Let other people make the mistakes. And look, he was opportunistic. There was a big battle going on where the front runners, as Eugene gets a bit of oversteer and Nuttall Allen gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings, I think this could be it.
This is going to be done right here, right now. That's it. Boris will now just simply walk off into the distance with this Grand Prix. I think he's got all that clean air. He's a very promising driver. Bit of a lock-up though from him.
It's a difficult braking zone. As I said in the track guide, these are some of the heaviest braking zones around this track. Maybe, you've got some around like Bahrain, for example, as well, which are equally as heavy. And actually, I didn't know this until I read Johnny Herbert's book. The heaviest braking track is Canada. It's where the brakes get their hottest around Canada.
Wouldn't surprise me. You've got loads of chicanes, about 4 chicanes actually.
Lots of heavy braking. I never thought about it, but yeah, this must be up there. The amount of pressure going through the brakes, that burn at about 1,000 degrees. That's why you see them glowing red on TV. For those who don't know, they're not the brakes you'd get on your Fiat. I can't even think of a Fiat anymore. Punto,
Panda.
A Fiat Panda.
500.
That's it. I know stuff about cars, guys. I'm an expert.
Oh, definitely. Anyway, Boris has already pulled up a second over Tempo Tesla.
Shall we? And Tempo's overtaken Eugene. He's actually within DRS now, so this is increasingly interesting.
He will literally just go because he's just gone over the line right now. So. Yeah. We'll see. Tempo's actually picked up at least, I'd say about a tenth there.
I do wonder maybe if Boris has taken a bit too much out of his tyre life.
You think?
I've just seen quite a lot of lockups. I expect him to be driven away. This could be a lockup here as well.
Another one.
Yeah. It's not an easy turn, don't get me wrong. It's such a heavy braking point. And you've got to... It's difficult. That might be a warning there as well. I think Boris is feeling a little bit of pressure. He might be maybe looking at the delta a bit too much on the left-hand side of his screen.
I would have to say, I'm going to have to say this, but I think Boris right now at the moment, I'm going to say an Alex Albon quote, they're racing me hard. They race me so hard. But literally, I'm so far. This is probably the one race at the moment. He is massively under pressure at the moment. I mean,
Tempo's raising his game, and he would have gained a lot of confidence after. It was another lockup. Yeah, Tempo would have gained, as we spoke to him last week after he won. He would have gained a lot of confidence from that race because he'd had 4 DNFs in a row, and then all of a sudden he pops up with a win. We've known all season especially since we've been commentating, that he's got the pace. It's just it's a case of consistency for tempo, and there's no doubt. There's another lockup again. I've counted 3 this lap.
I tell you what,
battered.
I'm making Bob this one. He's going to do a lockup literally on the end of this straight right here. I think it's going to.
It's the only thing, if you just look in the centre of the screen, guys, you'll see that Tempo Tesla has next to no electronic recovery system, the ERS system, which actually charges under braking and coasting. Oh, I think you've managed to guess that one right there.
It was a bold statement. Eugene has actually just fallen to Morris Pace. Morris Pace
on the
is
podium.
actually on the podium.
The Sargent's dropped right back, by the way. 2 was on 2.
I will say this though, as it stands, I know we've only got 10 laps to go, and 10 laps is a lot as Eugene takes that third place spot. I believe, I am certain of this now. If Boris wins this Grand Prix, he will be world champion.
It's been the champion's drive for him. We've actually seen him faced with adversity from when he got spun round. And look, he hasn't exactly, as another look up there, he hasn't exactly driven off with this one. And you see it all the time in real F1. The champion drives often come when you're faced with adversity. Jenson Button in 2009 or Lewis in 2008. Or I'm thinking... Sebastian Vettel in 2012. If you're faced with something, it's when you really start to see what kind of driver they are. And Boris has shown us something a bit more as he overshoots that corner.
Yeah, to be honest,
he's struggling, but he's had to come back from being spun round by the man chasing him. And I think he'll be in the back of his mind. He'll know that, and he'll want to get on with this. And he's pulled out. He had a great exit there.
Perfect Nave has retired. I think he just couldn't anymore.
That was this.
So there was a yellow flag in sector 3.
That could have been him, maybe.
Could that?
No,
I don't think it could be, to be honest, because
he was quite a long way behind.
He was a long way behind, but I wouldn't say it was ridiculously amount. We've got another yellow flag in Eugene. Eugene has plummeted. Oh no, sorry, it has gone into the pit. My apologies. He has gone into the pit.
He nearly did a Lewis there, and I think
did.
What Eugene will be looking at doing there is just going to mediums until the end of the race. I don't think you can get 10 laps off the softs.
We'll see what he's doing.
They're mediums.
Yeah, they're going on to the mediums. Yeah.
You'll see there as the game does glitch.
There seems to be a yellow flag in sector 1 and 2. What is going on? Who has spun off? I can't see anyone as it stands.
I think that was it me? No, Eugene's just come out. It's Perfect Names left the session. I think that must have been a glitch.
Yeah.
So the start be back up to 5th. He needs to get past 2. And at the moment, he's doing his teammate big favours in keeping Basabi behind. And again, I just want to mention Morris Pace in his second race. A bit of a rhyme there. I am a musician, so it comes naturally. Morris Pace having a fantastic drive to get himself up to 3rd place at the moment.
We have a yellow flag. Yellow flag. It is Anarchy is back. He is now DNF out of this race. No one's entirely sure what happened because
if we can just get on with
trying to see what we can. We're trying to figure out what's going on here with the yellow flags at the moment, as we are got still a bit of a race between Boris and Tempo Tesla. Tempo Tesla is obviously gaining at least I'd say a couple of hundreds on that, but not too much. By the looks of things, Anarchy is back. Has got obviously went off.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Anarchy. No, hang on. Anarchy is.
It says AI on him, so
right.
The session.
I think he has.
So these guys will just be able to drive right through him. Or will they? Boris, I don't think knew. I don't think Boris knew, and he lifted off, and that almost gifted Tempo the place there. If that was, oh my word, Boris's poor tyres. This has to stop.
This has to stop.
Oh my word. His tyres are going for a beat now. I haven't seen too many lockups from Tempo, which means as this race goes deeper, there is going to be a tyre advantage. I'd say that lap difference has already worked its way out with these lockups. Probably more.
Possibly. Just had a bit one from the stewards. I found out Eugene, the reason why he pitted onto the medium is the fact he hit Torn 04 in the back and then had wing damage. Right. So that is the reason why. And obviously, it took a long time for him to come out of the pitch. Yeah. That would obviously be the reason.
Right. That's a very good race. Probably stolen away for a bit of a mistake there for Eugene, who had a great qualifying and he had a good race as Boris locks up again. I've just got this weird inkling that if Boris don't get on top of this soon, the race is going to come to tempo.
I will say this though, Boris. I mean, he needs to stop locking up. I mean, I think he's just going into the corners too deeply. And let's face it, if the way he's carrying on, mate, if another yellow flag in sector 3, what is going on?
Right, that must be a glitch, man.
No, it is Eugene. Eugene has spun.
Going
I've
around
got a feeling he could end up retiring from this, I believe.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me.
Right, we're just going to stay on board with tempo, and
I'll tell you what, I'm sorry, but look who's up behind tempo.
Oh.
We've got Morris Pace, right, with probably a little bit more of a time advantage over Tempo
and
Tesla.
Toon as well. Right on his back. Tempo's recharging.
Tempo is recharging.
Goes wide there.
Goes wide. I tell you what, I think Tempo could be in a bit of trouble here, and I could be saying...
Boris is now seeing the advantage of Tempo coming under pressure now, as he's just about... no. Tempo will still have DRS, as there was a detection line there, but it's a matter of centimetres, really, that was. And also Toon is right on the gearbox of Morris Pace. This all just got a little bit more interesting. We could see some first-time podium sitters.
We could. Morris Pace obviously trying to get out the slipstream, so he goes on the inside, but Torn by the things gets it done. So on the inside comes Morris Pace.
Switch back
time for Torn. Does he get it done? Yes, he does!
You've been switched back there, Morris, unfortunately for you, but that was a beautiful move, and he just let Morris outbrake himself, and he just worried about taking the corner normally.
I will say this now, Torn now is on the back of Tempo Tesla. These two, there's a bit of a contact there between the two cars.
Toon just understeered a little there, and you can see the effect that could have had. That could have been quite a come down, but he's got very fresh tyres here, and now suddenly the Jaws music is on the back of Tempo.
We're not doing it again.
We're not doing it again. No, it was one for the highlight reel.
Yeah,
I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe we could get more film scores going on again in the future. Not sure how we could work Star Wars into this, but I'll find a way.
We'll find it. Even though he is racing, he's out of the running at the moment. He had a quality race at the start of this. He's popped the fastest lap. Eugene M10 in the Racing Point.
Unfortunately, he's got to make up a few positions until we can take that extra point, but he has fresh tyres and a big gap between Lightning and the rest of the field now if he gets past.
Tempo Tesla has been broken off from that DRS, so he has now Torn bearing down on him. So we could be seeing a little bit of spanner in the works as we must face it. Boris would, as it stands, with
Sabi's got past Tim. They're on a wheel-to-wheel battle just in the back there.
Torn. That would be a warning for him. That will be a warning for him.
Look, it's that's just going to allow Morris Pace to get onto the back of him, as Tim 88 just about wins that battle with Wasabi in the background. And we're just going to stick with this because
seriously, I mean, you can be seeing a lot of front new runners. So far, it's fourth, third, second, and first. This is the battle for first between four drivers as we are coming to almost to the close of this Grand Prix with 5 laps left, I would say, 5.5.
Yeah. So let's just wait and see. For example, a driver like Boris who's been locking up, his tyres might now start to die of death. I wouldn't recommend making your tyres die of death. It's not a very good thing to happen.
Definitely not.
But we'll see. I think there's still a script to be written here, guys. It looks like Boris now having broken DRS, but look, the guys behind him are on the hunt for tempo. And if they get past tempo, they could have the pace to drive back onto the gearbox, especially Toon.
Right. At the moment, it is between these four. Morris Pace has got DRS, but it hasn't got enough ERS. You got Torn now. Go in for tempo. Oh no, he's had to take a little bit too late there. Bit of a oversteer right there, going into coming out of the hairpin, going into the final corner. That is probably not done him any justice, space it, but he's still coming very quickly towards Tempo Tesla. Could it be done right now? Oh, he's going to have to wait a little bit longer. To be honest, I think he could have done it right there, but he had to be very brave. Very brave if he had to.
I admire the patience, but sometimes you just got to get on with these things. It is a difficult overtake. I think Tuan, if he can just stick on the back through the twisty section, as Tempo's going to get a penalty.
Tempo has got a penalty for multiple warnings.
Saw it, it's just got loose on that little kink in the road.
So that means he will not, as it stands at the moment, he will not be on the top, on any of the top steps. He will literally plummet down to fourth. This could put Torn and Morris Pace in the podium places.
This is also wonders for Borish, because Tempo was already a long shot. This pretty much wraps up the title, especially with Basabi lying down there in 6th place.
Very sad times. Basabi could have done it as Vero gets multiple warnings, gets another penalty of 3 seconds.
Assuming this is all over here, look, the Ferrari's got nothing to defend with, and
he's gaining.
He's not even using his DRS system.
No, it's all DRS.
He's just blasted past on DRS, and he squeezes him there really well, leaves him with absolutely no chance of getting on to the same level.
These two are going so
he threw a switch back there, but the inside line around a 90-degree corner is quite powerful. Tempo is going to have DRS here.
He does, but he's going to have to wait. I don't think he's got. He hasn't got tyres on the moment.
No.
But as it stands, what a day for the McLaren boys! I tell you, picking up maximum points.
So 1-2 at the moment, and also Toon's got a big tyre advantage to Borish. I think Toon really needs to be getting on with this, because we've been watching Borish. We know that Borish has been locking up like crazy. We know the tyre advantage is big in Toon's favour. As Tempo gets loose, that's going to cost him a lot of time around this section.
Yeah, you got Morris Pace right behind it, and Tempo Tesla at the moment. Obviously, this doesn't matter at the moment. Eugene picking another 3-second time penalty there, but obviously Morris Pace at the moment, as it stands. I mean, all he needs to do is literally just bring the car home at this point. With obviously this lap, pretty much 3 laps to go. As Brenboy is now out. He is DNF. It hasn't brought out the safety car. Safety car has come in. Wow. Right. Who? Okay. What's going to happen? I mean, Borish. Could this say Borish's Grand Prix?
It could have cost him.
It probably could have cost him his Grand Prix.
The safety car will stay out until the last lap, as Tim gets drive-through for speed and under the safety car.
And he's got to serve that, I think, within the next 2 laps. To be honest.
So he's now out of the points. I think this is actually playing into the hands of everyone behind Borish, because, well, especially Tuan. But I think there's only going to be 1 lap. The safety car usually on this game stays out for 3 laps, which will put it coming in on lap 28 of 28.
This is
going to go.
This is going to be something.
Desi, a couple of people are pitting. I think they're going for the fastest lap.
They will be going for the fastest lap.
Just about got himself slowed down there.
Jesse Foreman, Basabi, got a lot of people down the bottom going in.
There's been a severe collision with YT Vero, and Nasrallah is now retired, probably out of range there, potentially.
That probably leave the safety car out a little bit longer, but
you can't. The game cannot finish under safety car.
It cannot with this one.
So I'm assuming what will happen is on either lap 27 or lap 28, the car will come in and then just let everyone go. The field doesn't need to be bunched up in this situation here, because the game simply, I cannot be finished on this game under safety car. I'm pretty certain of that. So Tuan, I think this plays into your hands. You've still got to make the move, and this is going to give everyone a chance to recharge ERS, get their fuel down to lean and save a little bit so they can pop her in onto the heavy stuff. We've seen quite a lot of people pit him. from place 8 all the way down. So a lot of people looking to play the
safety car is in this lap.
I thought it wouldn't.
Boris is actually backing the pack up a little bit here.
I completely understand why he's doing that. He's the safety cars. You cannot speed up until the safety car's in the pit lane. The safety car's got a long way to go until it's in the pit.
I'm not gonna lie. His tyres are not exactly warm, are they? I mean,
you've got to work the hards even harder as Desi gets a 5 second for ignoring the yellow flag, so he's overtaking someone and not giving that back. You've got to work the hard tyres very hard to keep them up to temperature.
He is trying. It's absolutely hard. I mean, before that bank turn onto that straight, one of his tyres was showing probably around about 78, 79.
Yeah. So yeah, he'll want about 10 more degrees really. But unfortunately, as we saw in real life this year, severe collision. Morris Pace has got a penalty. There's a lot of penalties going about here for everyone behind Borish.
It all depends now on who has the most penalties. As it stands,
there's been an incident. There's a drive. There's all sorts of stuff going on.
As it stands, Desi has a second round penalty. Another yellow flag. Tempo Tesla is out.
Tempo's done.
Tempo Tesla is out of the race. Basabi is at 6th. This is surely
the
championship.
Jesse Formula's onto the podium.
Jesse Formula is onto the podium. Morris
Pace has got a penalty, which will surely put him off the podium. And Suon's not going to find 5 seconds. So it's going to be a win for Borish, surely.
This is a win for Borish. As it stands, Jesse Formula could probably will get second if he stays with Tun. He's only 2 seconds, 2.2 behind Tun. He needs to keep that pace. Desi now goes up to 4th. He's only got an 8-second time penalty, so that won't mean anything for him. Basabi has lost another place. Yeah, this is definitely Borish's championship now.
It's all over. It's all over. The fat lady has warmed up, got them vocal cords nice and stretched, and she's about to blast one out.
Let's see, Tim has got coming for a drive-through penalty. He's got to serve that before, otherwise he'll get disqualified. But unfortunately, it'll still knock him out of the race. So his race is done.
It looked like there that a couple of people there was a bit of a pile-up at the back. People getting their braking points wrong, and that's led to a lot of penalties. Now we're not sure.
FIFA actually could end up possibly going to 4th at this point. Jesse Formula with the fastest time right there while he's on them softs. I think Jesse Formula is probably
he pitted, right?
He did pit for softs.
So he benefited greatly because of this.
Timmy with another 3-second time penalty. He's got a drive through. Unfortunately,
I feel like that late safety car really caught a few people out, and it felt like a lot of people were settling down for the end of the race, and the late safety car seems to have caught a lot of people out as Eugene puts the fastest lap in. It's a 1:31.6 on medium tyres.
This will be, I believe, as it stands, Jesse Formula's will be, this will be his first podium since Monza, which was at the start of the season. Wow. So this will be something to definitely cheer about. Torn, obviously, this is a second race. He will then be on the podium.
Is he going to get it?
I think he could do, because obviously you've got Desi, who is literally on an 8-second time here. Though Basabi, where's he come from? He could get a podium here.
No, he could get 4th.
Could he?
Yeah. Borish and Jesse don't have penalties.
A bit of a switcheroo. Torn is now down the 3rd. Jesse Fournier up into 2nd.
Now Basabi.
Right. Well, I'm sorry, but we've been caught up in this. Borish has been absolutely tremendous all season. He wins the Chinese Grand Prix. It is the Tier 1 champion of the world.
Basabi got onto the podium. He capitalised on a big mix-up right there, but it doesn't matter. He's second in the running. This man has put it to bed today in Shanghai.
Wow, what a race. I mean, what a race towards the end. That really was fantastic. Yeah. That was something.
We had overtaken pretty much every lap.
Oh, yeah, hands down we did.
And it's something, as I mentioned at the start, it's a safe circuit for this. You know, no socks will be got legendary corners, but it's a safe circuit. You know you're going to get racing there. You know it's the track is big enough, wide enough. And I'm so happy for Boris. He told us a couple of races ago it was his goal to win the championship. He's achieved it.
Oh, what a race. And there he is. Boris on top of the podium. He's on top of the world champion for McLaren.
Well, this is if this was real life, it would be McLaren's first world champion since 2008. They did have other opportunities to win it, but mistakes on the pit wall and Spygate and everything. So, it's something we hope to see in real life. I'm pretty sure most people are fans of McLaren. The end of that race was really, really took me by surprise because the amount of late penalties that got handed out. And it was a great move from Jesse Formulae, by the way, right at the end there. He launched it from a mile back on turn. It caught him napping, really.
Oh, what a race, seriously. I mean, I know the season isn't over, but seriously, that just sums it all up. Boris is world champion.
He's my driver of the day as well because he had to come back through some adversity today.
Definitely.
It's like what I mentioned. It's these kind of races where you start to see. Yeah, look at the timings there. He wasn't exactly the fastest driver on the day either. He's had to fight for it. He's not driven off into the distance, and it's a great win.
Absolutely fantastic. We're going to try and see if we can get some interviews in now. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. That is really, really awesome for Boris to claim the world title for Tier 1.
Well, Ben, about 3 months ago, you come to me and say, Matt, how do you fancy a commentating job on Friday nights or something to do? I say, yeah, why not? Well, I've really enjoyed it, and I've been suckered in every week, and I've grown attached to a lot of these drivers. And I know you shouldn't have favourites, but this has been good fun. But the season's not over. Still got 2 weeks left at two very, very tricky tracks where I'm sure we're going to see a lot of crashes, a lot of bodywork flying, a lot of carbon fibre.
We are live with Basabi, who came in third place. Bobby, how are we doing, mate?
I'm fine, good. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're doing great, mate. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I thought the podium place was completely out of reach. Matt was the same. I think it was completely out of reach for you. And then that controversy that happened with the safety car has obviously brought you back in, mate. I mean, seriously, congratulations on getting that third place, mate.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know what happened in front of me, but I only lost, so I almost sent it into the pit wall when going into the pits on lap 26 for the softs. So it was almost the end of the race. Jesse overtook me then, and I went on the softs and just gambled, and it paid off because the fresh softs are like 2-3 seconds a lap quicker, and I knew the safety car was gonna be coming in at the end of lap 26. So I made some overtakes, and it made it work at the end. But for the rest, halfway during the race, I ended up in P6. Just you don't have any overtake left, and then everyone gets you. You're a sitting duck basically. So I got overtaken by a shitload of people, and then at the end got back. So it was a fun race. I had some great racing.
Absolutely. I think before in my commentary I was mentioning about this track being so corrosive on tyres. So what you're saying there at the end is going onto the fresh softs was basically a huge benefit to you to help you get back up the order because you had fallen back, as you'd said. So you took advantage of a safety car there, which is what good drivers do in real life. It's what good drivers do in esports. So well done, man. That was really impressive.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
We will now talk with our second place driver, Jesse Formulae, mate. This is the first time you've been on the podium since Monza at the start of the season, mate, for the Red Bull Racing. Seriously, congratulations, mate, on the podium, mate, at last after so long. How are you feeling, mate?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. Yeah, I don't really know what happened because I was in 7th and then I pitted and then on the safety car restart everyone had damage and before I know that I was right behind the McLarens in the last lap. So yeah, on the soft. So yeah.
It was a really good overtake into the hairpin right at the end. You seemed to come from a mile back and make the move stick. How much of an advantage were those fresh softs?
Yeah, there was really big advantage.
We're just watching your move now, actually. That's a beauty. You timed it perfectly because you've stopped just before. What a move!
Yeah.
Wow. Well played. Honestly, we're watching it now. We're just watching it back. So, first podium in a little while. What do you think you can do now to start making this a regular occurrence?
I don't know. I think that there are a lot of quick drivers in this league. So, to get these results, you have to be really quick and also have some luck. And this time I had some luck because of that safety car. And yeah.
Well, you managed to play the safety car perfectly there. Congratulations, dude, and we'll see you in Monaco next week.
Yeah, it was also really funny to see Basabi nearly going into the wall.
I bet. It was minimal.
Anyway, Jesse, thank you very much, mate, for joining us. And like Matt said, we'll see you in Monaco. Right, we are now with... Well, I don't even know if he knows yet. Boris, how are you doing, mate? Well, congratulations on another win and another podium. How are you feeling, mate?
I'm very happy with my win because I think I'm now world champion, if I am right.
Yeah, I was wondering, did you actually know? Yes, we can confirm you are the Tier 1 WWRL World Champion. Seriously, I can only imagine. I mean, you have been flawless throughout the whole entire season. Obviously, the first podium you didn't get was, of course, Canada, which was only a couple of weeks ago. But still, you ended up bringing it back, winning a Grand Prix here in China, and just blew everyone away. I mean, congratulations, mate.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to tell something about the race. In qualifying, I was not sure which strategy would be the best for the race. So at the end of the qualifying, I decided to try it on softs, and I got the pole. At the start, I was able to defend position 1. And then Tempo Tesla did an undercut, and he was successfully. So I was able to overtake him instant. Then someone hit me. I lost some positions, but I was able to overtake and to get my first position back. And at the end, it really was close because the second place had soft tires. So I think if it would have been one more lap, so I would have probably haven't win that race.
What I enjoyed about your drive today was the fact that you had to come back from being spun around, and you had to make the overtakes, and you had to really fight. And it was very, very similar to when you see in real life, like Sebastian Vettel 2012 in Brazil, when he had to come back and he had to make a championship drive. That for me, that was your championship drive, and all I can say is congratulations. And I look forward to watching you around Monaco next week.
Yeah, Monaco, I really like the track. It is my most favorite track.
Well, I'm expecting big things from you. Quali is everything, as we know, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you around there.
Yeah, so I will drive in Monaco very good because I can the track very good.
I can't wait. Thank you so much, Boris, for joining us. Thank you.
Yeah, Boris, same with me, mate. Thank you very much for joining us. And literally, once again, mate, you're going to get all night, let's face it, on their Discord chat, mate. But congratulations, mate. very well deserved World Championship, mate. And we will see you in Monaco.
Is that it for the interview?
No, we have a few more, actually. We're going to have a talk with our friend Desi. Desi, how are you doing, mate? You unfortunately couldn't... I mean, you were so close to getting the... you were getting so close to actually getting a podium place. But unfortunately, it fell a bit short with all the crashes on the restart of the safety car. Can you talk to us a bit, actually, what happened, mate? Because obviously you picked up a time penalty there.
Yeah, I picked up a time penalty because Jesse, everyone was driving really slow. So Jesse was very late on the brakes and he overtook me. And after that, I overtook him. But I got a penalty for that, so
Just a bit of a...
that was a bit unfortunate.
A bit of a glitch in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, safety car restarts. What I think happened at that safety car there right at the end is I think most people had transitioned to what I call end of race mode, where you start thinking, right, I've got a few laps left, I'll just bring it home now. And I think it actually caught a lot of people out, and we saw a lot of late strategy calls, and I think that's really what went wrong for a lot of people is it just caught everyone off guard to have a safety car that late. It's not something we see a lot in the game.
And sadly, it was because of my teammate crashed. So
I don't think I know whether or not you'll probably blame him, but with space, I'm sure they'll probably be having words on it, back in the pit. But we'll talk about it. But Desi, we have got 2 races coming up. Obviously, both of them are street circuits. Now, obviously, compared to the other, I mean, there's a more opportunity to overtake in Singapore, but the next race is Monaco. I mean, Monaco can literally catch people out left, right, and centre. Even the pros these days, even they struggle to cope on the narrowest of the streets of Monaco. I mean, what would you say to anyone who's never played Formula One on any console or any sort of platform? How would you go about it with driving around Monaco, especially in an online race? How would you go about it?
don't crash.
I like that.
Don't
No,
crash.
it's going to be a
That
disaster.
could have been more of a Kimmy answer, could it?
That was beautiful. It's going to be a difficult transition because you go from China, which at some points is the widest track and it's got the longest straight in F1. You now go into a place where there isn't overtaking opportunities. How are you just going to look to do the best job you can in qualifying and just see it through?
I'm going to practice a lot next week.
Yeah.
To drive consistently at Monaco, because I can drive one fast lap, I think, but to have that consistency to not crash is going to be very difficult.
It's a different way of thinking. I was saying in my commentary in qualifying, it's driving in qualifying is one mindset and driving in the race is another, and it's all about consistency. I'm assuming you use no assists as well.
Well, I'm on a controller, so
So am
I
I,
have
man. I do it on a controller. I think, traction around Monaco is probably the biggest thing, especially around the hairpin. That's where us controller users often find ourselves at a disadvantage. But my advice would be put everything on qualifying and then just drive in the centre of the road. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you, Desi. Well, that is almost pretty much all we have time for. What an incredible race, and what an incredible end to the Grand Prix right there. Matt, once again, I would love to say thank you for joining me. I mean, I'm seriously, so far, I think what you and me have done so far has been absolutely brilliant in terms of it's brought this sort of pandemic a little bit, I don't know, less stressful
Yeah.
by watching this.
I agree. And it's also been nice to be able to come here with it in Formula One off season. In 2 weeks' time, cars will be being launched. We'll be gearing up for pre-season testing in Bahrain and the first race. So it's been nice to have somewhere to come, talk about racing. And we do talk about real racing as well here. We are both fans. We hope that comes across in our commentary, that we're just here because we're passionate about the sport. We have fun. We have a laugh. We sung the Jaws theme, which I didn't assume I'd be doing at 8 o'clock in the evening in the UK. But that was a fantastic race. Really enjoyed it. Chaotic as always. It is Borish now who has been supreme all season, and it's Borish who's wrapped it all up.
That is fantastic. That is all we have time for. Matthew, once again, thank you for obviously being my co-commentator. Well, that is it. The title is under wraps. Borish is a world champion, and McLaren once again are sitting on the top spot. But is the fun really over at the end of this season? I definitely don't think so. Thank you guys, and see you all in my